Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 5 of albums that turned 50 years old in 2022. Looking back at the great year in music that was 1972. These albums are all turning 50 this year, and we're going to pay tribute to them every day throughout the month of January. Looking back on some of these great recordings, and I'm picking out my favorites for you, and I'm asking you each and every day to do the same in the comments below. So this particular one's interesting how I picked this one on the day of my birth, because I turned 56 today. Happy birthday to me. And I really like this album a lot. I really like this band a lot, especially a lot of the earlier works of the band. And they're one of the bands that I kind of grew up with. And this particular one came out in February 1972, released in Germany, all right, on the Brain label, produced by Connie Plank. I'm talking about the debut album from the Scorpions, Lonesome Crow. At this point in time, featuring a very, very young teenage Michael Schenker on lead guitar before he would leave to go join UFO, and a man named Uli John Roth, or Ulrich Roth as he was known at back then, would join the band for a succession of amazing influential albums throughout the course of the 70s, but we're not talking about that this particular day. We're talking about this debut album, which the band comprised of Klaus Meine on vocals, Rudolf Schenker on rhythm guitar, his younger brother Michael Schenker on lead guitar, Wolfgang Zioni on drums, and Lothar Heimberg on bass guitar. More of a space rock album, I think, than anything else. Very, very different from the albums that would come after, and I think that's due to the influence of Ulrich Roth, or Uli John Roth, and his guitar playing and guitar style. I think the band would start to do much more heavier rock stuff, and certainly kind of Hendrix influence type things, acid rock and stuff like that, whereas this album is more like a space rock album. Definitely elements of hard rock, but a lot of jamming, a lot of guitar soloing on here. It's just amazing when you think about how great Michael Schenker was, even at such a really, really young age. I mean, what was he, like 15, 16, 17 years old, something like that. He was right around that, 16 when they recorded this album. And, I'm Going Mad, really cool song. It All Depends, Leave Me, In Search of the Peace of Mind, which is really the only track from this album that kind of had longevity, like in the live set, going into the latter part of the 70s. That's actually a really kind of mellow, kind of psychedelic type of track. You got Inheritance, Action, and then, of course, the 13-minute Lonesome Crow, which is like a launching pad for all sorts of Schenker guitar solos. And I think this album really is really good. It really cooks. It's definitely, not an everyday Scorpions listen, as there's not like a lot of anthemic songs on here. But for me, I'm Going Mad, It All Depends, and the title track, I think, are really, really good. But all the songs are really good. There's definitely a spacey feel on here. There's no keyboards, but the use of like guitars and guitar effects and delay and echo and all that kind of stuff, I think, works really well. There's a bluesiness to the album too, a little bit, right? And it's actually interesting when you think about it, because I don't think this album is that far removed from some of like those couple of early albums from UFO before Schenker joined. I think this is more successful personally than those first two space rock UFO albums, or the kind of bluesy space rock UFO albums. But it just makes total sense that UFO and the Scorpions would kind of have a meet and greet, and Schenker would go off to UFO, because I think both bands were kind of coming from a similar place early on in their career, and obviously we know the direction that both went after Schenker left Scorpions to go into UFO, right? I think both bands grew up overnight after that happened. Uli came into the Scorpions, Michael went to UFO, both bands took off from there. So but Lonesome Crow is my pick for today. I like this album quite a lot. It's really good. It's kind of raw. It's definitely, you can hear that they haven't really found their sound yet, but there's a lot of good stuff going on here, and man, Schenker's playing. I mean, I don't think you hear as much soloing from him on any other album, any other studio album he worked on compared to this. I mean, he's just all over the place on here. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. List your pick for today as we are making our way through 1972. It is day 5. Let us know what you think of Lonesome Crow, but also, list your pick as well. So thanks for watching. I am Pete. Stay tuned for another episode tomorrow, as well as all sorts of other stuff here on the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss any of these episodes. I want to make sure you guys are all neck and neck with me every step of the way, because we're going to do this every single morning. And we'll see you tomorrow morning with another one, all right? I am Pete. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.